What's up, cousins? Welcome back. We're here. Yes, I am here. It's happening. We're back. Sort of, kind of. Welcome back to this. Welcome back to my thoughts. And of course, without any further introduction, we should know that today's topic is about Tyra Banks, Auntie Tyra, Tai Tai. Tyra is has obviously made it a point that you can say whatever you want to say. You could do what you want to do. You can hoot and holler, do it all. Just you can get on the top of the highest mountain, scream it. You can send her a bird with a piece of paper saying that she is the world's biggest bitch. And you know what she will do? She would definitely let out a soft expression of, why, thank you. I applaud Tyra because Tyra has fully committed to this thing she created. And by thing, I mean this persona of her in the reality television universe. And you may not get it, but those who have been watching Top Model since its inception, they'll understand. You have so many variations of Tyra Banks. You have the talk show, as I've discussed before. You have the model. You have the actress. You have the somewhat pop star or failed pop star, whatever. And then, of course, you have Tyra, Top Model Tyra. Top Model Tyra is the Tyra that we feel is the reason why she has longevity. That Tyra has given her longevity. So by Tyra implementing herself in the reality world the way she did, that ultimately gave her so much relevance that would go years and years and years on in. So because she knew she was creating something bigger than herself, and because the show was getting bigger and bigger, she had a plan the whole time that this is going to be my legacy. No matter how this plays out, I am going to cherish this. I am going to stand by it because without all of this, years from now, no one will be mentioning my name. She knew that. I think Tyra secretly just knew how controversial and problematic this show is. She knew. And because she knew, she played on that. Well done. And honestly, she sacrificed a bit of her image for the sake of, like, this woman was really committed to doing anything, any and everything. She was willing to knock the heads off models just so 15 million of us could tune in on a weekday. She was willing and ready to rock with those producers, those big heads, and let them know that I am not a sacred cow. I think my biggest gripe with this docu-series, which I unpleasantly found out it was broken into pieces, which it really didn't need to be broken into pieces. This honestly could have just been one entire shabam. And honestly, I'm not even gonna be funny when I say this, no shade, but the selection of the contestants that they did choose, yes, they were prominent, but there were other contestants that I was looking for. I wanted Jade. I wanted Ferranda. Honestly, pretty much almost everybody from Danny's cycle I wanted back to talk, because that was a season where we really saw the shenanigans again. Like, they were doing the most and putting those girls through like hell. It was literally like war games every time you tune into that season. And yeah, so I would have loved to have seen more. I don't want to say more in the sense of contestants, because I feel like we had enough. The selection to me was a bit mid, because the people that were speaking out, aside from Shandy revealing the whole sexual assault situation, which I think a lot of us kind of knew that was the case, because that really didn't seem right the way they captured it all on camera. Outside of that, I think for most of us antm or whatever you want to call us, like super fans that have watched the show since forever and or have just kept up with it and really dug ourselves deep into that whole realm of just looking into the problematic photo shoots, looking at the way certain models of color or certain models of body shape, whatever the case. So we really looked at this show from all angles and really dissected it. I love this show. I love Top Model. I really do. It's one of my favorite shows to binge watch, and I absolutely adore Tyra. However, we all grown cousins, so everybody got to hold each other accountable. And I think for me, the most disappointing thing, and it's not surprising, is that Tyra is unwilling to really fully hold accountability of anything. She just, for lack of better words, Auntie is really off the cuckoo's nest. Like, she really just is like, y'all wanted this. We really wanted a lot of that shit that went down on Top Model. And because we secretly wanted it, because the show was beyond just, went past the fashion world. It just became a household name, to where even if you didn't care about modeling or fashion, it was entertaining. It went from educational to more entertaining as it progressed, as any show. I get it. I don't like to see it happen to some of my favorite shows, but they all go through that. Every show is going to go through that phase of, okay, bigger is better, when honestly, you should just kind of keep the same format. Top Model, Tyra was smart in doing what she did to keep the show lasting past 20 cycles. That in itself is a huge accomplishment. Is anyone else not understanding how big that is? But I'm not even going to get on that, because we've already talked about the greatness of Tyra in part 1. This one is more of a let's sit down and I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. Yeah, Tyra, we got to hold ourselves more accountable. We really do, because it's almost as if you just have completely numbed yourself to people's feelings. And that is not right. Like, I feel like you need to just let go of this facade of Top Model Tyra, and just talk from your heart, and understand that Ken Mock ain't gonna do nothing to you, girl. Like, it's okay. Just talk. It's almost like the entire documentary, she didn't really give anything. She never really had any vulnerable states. She didn't really express any concern. It almost felt kind of scary and psychotic how she would respond to everything. She seemed so excited and, just up in arms to talk about the ratings and how huge the show was, and how the fact that, she was the first woman to do this, and she was breaking down barriers. And, that's great. But Tyra, you was honking this horn just a little too motherfucking loud for me. It was giving pipe down. Like, okay, girl, yeah, you really did that, but we really need you to understand we passed that. Like, we're going to give you your flowers, but at the same time, we need to sit down and think about some things, and think about how you made the black contestant close her gap, and then later on you basically recommended a white contestant widen hers because you felt it would give her more opportunities. Yeah. And of course, we all know the moment where you called out Yaya for her response, and why she would not choose to wear a typical unflattering garment that was meant to be a representation of who you all thought she was, just so you can get some type of moment out of her. She thought bigger than that. And because so many other contestants that thought bigger and knew better, Dion, she looks amazing, by the way. A good handful of the girls look really, really good. And by a good handful, I mean the black girls. The black women, y'all have been moisturizing. Shout out to you, Ebony. Ebony is always going to be one of my favorite contestants. Like, that gift, it's so crazy to me to know that I watched it in real time. That moment that has become such a huge deal for her, the gift of her with that is such a huge staple in my reaction Rolodex. If you were one of those people that kept up with Oliver Twist, he did an entire little series where he was talking to nearly every contestant. So I'm talking, he had it wasn't just your typical, which I found it funny, is that in the documentary, it seemed like there was such a limited pick. And then I'm thinking to myself, this young man on YouTube got more out of these contestants without a network than what I saw the finalized result was with this. And I think what I'm trying to say without saying is that the documentary really didn't tell much for those who were looking for all the tea and for us to really get into it. It really didn't, which I really don't care at this point, because I know so much based off my own research, and I've kept up, like I said, I've kept up with this show forever. So I know pretty much any and everything that has pretty much happened with every single contestant that has walked in the faces of those judges. So yeah, it's nothing that I can really say outside of that. Let's see. Any notes that I had? I I put down Tyra's domination, heroin chic. Like I was noting so much when I was watching this. We still have to, on one end, it's kind of like a double-edged sword with Tyra. Like on one end, she did really cement herself in reality television and gave us some of the best moments that I've ever witnessed on TV. We can give her all the praise and credit for that. However, some of this shit, girl, we didn't ask for this. We didn't ask for the race swap that you did twice. We didn't ask for that. We didn't ask for you to yell at Tiffany just because she wouldn't let y'all gaslight her into thinking that she was reading a teleprompter when y'all really was fucking with them girls. Like, I'm not gonna do this with you. Like, we're not gonna play this little mind game that you want to play, Tyra. And I think that's the Tyra's issue. She wants to play a mind game, and no one wants to play this with her. Like, we really past that point with you, Tyra. We really are. Just seeing Giselle, she's such a whiner on the show. And seeing her in the documentary, the only thing I could think of was this girl's gonna cry. And I knew she was gonna cry eventually about something. And I kind of felt for her too. But Giselle was just such a pick me that she was the first representation I saw on the show of like a pick me. She wanted just so much approval for someone that was just so gorgeous. She wanted so much approval. And it really just pissed me off. I understand Elise and that iconic confessional because Giselle, you really you did entirely too much. So the Kenya situation, yeah. All right, so yeah, let's really talk about it. That whole fat narrative with Kenya, I smelled that from a mile away. And I don't like the fact that it's so funny and ironic because Kenya went to Africa. And honestly, they played with that girl when she went to Africa. They played with her because why would you bring me all the way to Africa? Call me fat. Make me dress as an elephant. Tell me that you had to retouch the hell out of my stomach. And then let this guy basically sexually assault me on camera and then pick the worst photo. And when I tell you why I didn't perform as well as I wanted to, you basically tell me that I should have done more to make him stop when literally people were in front of me. I just didn't get it. You really played with these girls' mind. Like you and the producers, all y'all played. And I'm glad that we are seeing that everybody played a part in it. That's the one thing I do think I like about the documentary. Everyone pretty much owned up that they were intertwined in this madness, except for Miss J. Y'all don't understand. Miss J is everything to me. I have always looked up to him as like my queer godmother, and seeing him in that state that he was in the documentary, I don't want to give out too much, but just seeing him in that state, for those who watched it, it was just truly heartbreaking, and my heart goes out to him because I know he will make a great comeback. As he said, not yet. My overall thoughts, everyone pretty much owned up to what they did. I feel like the documentary could have been better. I expected more. I think my expectation level was really high as far as what I was thinking I was going to get from this. And it just seemed honestly like an entire just ad for Tyra to promote something. It just felt like that. It felt like she only agreed to it because of the exposure. I feel like she knows that whether it's good promo, bad, you know the whole saying, bad press, any news is good news. I think Tyra Banks runs off of that. She runs off of the notion that no matter what the news is about me, it's about me. You bitches are talking about me. You bitches on your podcast talking about me right now. She knows that no matter what, she is the topic of conversation. Like you can't hate on that really. She had access to top security wigs. Tyra Banks almost had the right to be a menace, if you really think about it. She didn't, but it's like when you really think about the whole grand scheme of just top model and her and who she was at the time and just her being in that moment and leading all of this as a black woman, as a beautiful black woman, that was so rare and it's just crazy. So anyway, so yeah, if you saw it, let me know if you liked it. If you didn't like it, whatever, watch it if you can, when you can. Tyra, if you don't go check on Miss J, now you know damn well you need your ass whooped for that. If anything, you know you need your ass whooped for that. Yeah. Welcome back. Sessions are back. We're back. Let's get back to this. And yeah, enjoy your day. Peace out.